Well, are we up and running? All right. Hello, Facebook. We're about to get started. Come on in. Join us. Hit the share button. The Undertaker. Great Gospel Radio, 1040 AM. Hello, everybody. About to get started. Hello and welcome to Ask the Undertaker. We're opening on this Look into Funeral service brought to you by Golden Gate Funeral Home and Crematory with facilities in Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas, Texas, and Tallulah, Louisiana. I'm your host, John Beckwith Jr., and I'm joined today by my sister, our Chief Financial Officer, my partner, Sister Carolyn Haynes.
Good morning, everybody.
All right. Every Tuesday morning from 8:15 to 8:30, we're going to be right here on KGGR, as well as live on all our internet, as well as every Thursday morning from 8:15 to 8:30 a.m. live on KGGR, as well as on all of our internet. And every Saturday morning from 10:15 to 11 o'clock a.m. So we want to make sure we get the message across. What is Ask the Undertaker? What is it all about? And Carl, we talk about three things. The most important thing is the owners of Golden Gate Funeral Home. Let's talk about that.
Most definitely. We still hear that. Even after 40 years, we're still asked who owns Golden Gate Funeral Home. Mr. Becker, who owns Golden Gate Funeral Home?
Who owns Golden Gate Funeral Home? You wouldn't believe it. Yesterday, one of my best friends, Reverend M.T. Body Jr., we grew up together, known each other since 2 years old, came to me and said, man, my wife was looking at Facebook and somebody posted that you sold a funeral home, John.
Oh, my.
I said, they posted that because for the last few Ask the Undertaker shows, I keep saying, we'll never sold Golden Gate Funeral Home. We never will. We're owned by... This is the owner right here. I am the owner of Golden Gate Funeral Home, and our father is the owner of Golden Gate Funeral Home. No one else. And I said, I think someone is just challenging us, and they're just trying us. And a lot of times, your haters will want you to react to them.
Right.
Well, this is for the folks who love us and need to know that Golden Gate Funeral Home hasn't always been owned by the exact same people.
Yes, sir.
John Beckwith Sr., Aline Beckwith, Carolyn Haynes, and John Beckwith Jr. That's it. We've never had another owner. And Aline Beckwith has went on to be with the Lord. And listen, we have a buy-sell agreement that only we can be the owners.
Right.
So if something happened to me, you and Dad become the sole owners. Something happened to her, me and Dad become the sole owners. That's just the way it's set up.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Carol, I think that's very important. Another thing that's very important to us is that we get 7 things across about being prepared for a physical death. And the reason we say physical death, because we're a Christian, family-owned and operated business, so we believe in the afterlife.
Yes,
is that correct, Carol?
Most definitely. We know our spirit will go on to heaven, but we do have to prepare for this body that God has given us.
All right, so we understand about the body part. Now, this is important now. In order for the body to be taken care of properly, we truly believe that the person needs to tell you exactly what to do with their
body.
With their body. Do you think that's important, Carol?
Most definitely.
What do we call that? I'm going to turn this down a little bit. What you call that?
Our very first one is our pre-need. We need you to tell our families exactly what it is that you want. That's the hardest part when families are here in the arrangement office with the funeral directors, is deciding on colors, deciding on styles. We need you to write that down for your family so that this decision doesn't have to be made.
So we're saying the number one thing is that make sure you tell people exactly what
you want.
And then the second thing we believe in is last will and testaments. We believe before your physical body dies, please tell us to deal with 3 things. And Carrie, the number one thing is what you own.
Yes, most definitely. They need to know what you have that you need to make sure you tell everybody where it goes. So number 1 is what you own.
All right, what you own and what you owe.
Yes,
you think
sir.
That's important?
Most definitely, because again, some people will say, oh, this is the address to the cemetery. Oh, I just send you a death certificate. That's not how it works with regards to your creditors. So you have to make sure you tell your family exactly what it is that you owe.
What I own and what I owe and who I'm responsible for.
Most definitely.
Why does that have to be in my last will and testament?
Because, y'all, like some people out there like us, there's a sandwich generation. We take care of our dad and we take care of our children. So when you pass away, someone's going to still have that responsibility. They're still going to be here. So they still need financial support and emotional support. You need to list in your last will and testament who takes care of them.
We have a living will That means that what do you want us to do if you don't pass away and you can't speak for yourself? And we think it's very important that we talk about bank accounts and make sure you have a payable on debt on everyone's account. So, Carol, we're going to say that every Tuesday.
Yes.
We're going to say that every Thursday. And we're going to say that every
Saturday morning.
Because you may not get it the first time. But we're going to give you plenty of time to make sure these 7 things are taken care of.
Yes, sir.
Another one is a right of disposition.
Yes, sir.
How important is that?
Most definitely. You have to have one person in charge. For those watching and listening to us today, you may not have ever heard us, but there are actually fights in arrangements because there is not one person in charge. So therefore, it may go by our state of Texas rules. We just simply ask you this one sheet of paper, very little time. We will provide it, we will notarize it, and we'll even keep it. But it's so important that your family knows this one person knows what you want and they're in charge.
So we say there's fights. Sometimes there is a physical fight. Sometimes there's a mental fight.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes family fall out and never speak again because of what happened during arrangements. One person in charge, put that in writing so we never have any confusion of this was the deceased person's choice. Yes, so if I'm going to be mad at someone, be mad at the deceased person. And then there's a letter of last instructions. It's very important that you tell us exactly where everything is located.
Most definitely. Again, that we've seen times again, people are going, they're tearing up homes, and John loves to tell us that that last will and testament is there and they're not in it. No one else ever sees it. We ask that you write down everything about your life. We then ask you to email it to the person that's going to take care of those things now that you've passed away.
Tell us where to locate those 6 things that we talk about.
Yes, sir.
How do I find the pre-need? Where is it? Where is the last will and testament? Where is the bank? What's the bank account number? What's the password?
Yes, sir.
Put that in some type of electronic device. Email it to somebody you trust.
Yes, sir.
All right, so the first part of this Ask the Undertaker is who owns Golden Gate Funeral Home? The Beckwith family. John Beckwith Sr., John Beckwith Jr., and Carolyn Haynes. It is public record.
Yes.
We are on record with the state of Texas, Beckwith Inc., who owns Golden Gate Funeral Home. Yes. Very clear. Second part is that we believe these 7 things are very important for a physical death. We'll cover that.
Yes, sir.
The third thing we do on every Ask the Undertaker is words of comfort to our listeners and to those who watch us. And we believe this is very important, Carolyn. So today, Jackie does such a great job in writing these for us, and we try to do everything we can to get across.
Yes, sir.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about secondary loss. What is our words of comfort to you today is secondary loss. Well, one thing is obvious. The primary loss is
the passing of a loved one.
Passing of a loved one. And we all know that.
Yes, sir.
But what happens after? What else is lost with the passing of a loved one? You said, well, they're not lost because we know where they are, right?
You're right.
But these other things are lost. And that's the reason we call it the secondary loss. You say, well, what's lost? Well, the first thing is lost is your lifestyle.
Yes.
Because you as a wife, now husband has passed away. Right. Now it's a different lifestyle.
Most definitely. We are a 2-income family. So when my husband passes away, it becomes 1. And John's exactly right. My entire lifestyle changes. Where I live, what I drive, where I go, what I do. So we need to understand there will be a primary and a secondary loss. The secondary loss is very, very important. Those with children, your children may not be able to go to school. So this secondary loss is very important, y'all.
Secondary loss. So I'll go from being married to being single. I go from being parent to being childless. I go from having somebody I share everything with to being alone. Yes. So there will be a change in my lifestyle. Yes, that's one of the things we have to kind of tell ourselves. Yes. And then we say, well, can I prepare for change of lifestyle?
Yes.
Of course I can. With just a conversation.
Yes.
What is it that you want me to do? What do you think I should do? And if it catch me by surprise, sometimes I got to go get some help.
Yes, sir.
Get this help from some more people. Say, listen, my lifestyle has changed.
What do I
do? I can't do this alone.
Yes, sir.
Second thing we believe that is a secondary loss because someone has passed away is feeling safe, Carol.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting. You know, 2 people together just feel safer.
Yes.
Kind of person to come home to. He's the alarm clock.
Yes,
he is
sir.
the watchdog. Exactly. Or she's the person that she hears things I don't hear. Or she sees things. Carol, I just feel safer when I'm with somebody.
Most definitely. And you may, for those that have heard this before, you may hear me say that about Kevin, is that when he's home, I go right to sleep. I have no issues. When he and John used to travel all the time, then there wasn't as much sleep for me. I would always listen for noises and the like. So you get used to that lifestyle, that person, your security. so that you can have that full rest and you feel secure. That's that secondary loss.
Secondary loss, secure physically,
Yes.
but also secure mentally. It's interesting. I feel more secure when I know someone else has an opinion besides me. What do you think? I feel more secure about this decision.
Right.
I feel more safe about anything I'm getting ready. Do you think we should do this or not do that? Think I should eat this or you think this is good for me? And Carol, it's just, I lose that. That's a secondary
loss.
That's secondary. Another secondary loss is the way I relate with family. You said, wait a minute now, one person passed away and the way you relate with family and friends are now different? Yes. I always came to your house as a couple. I've always dealt with you as a mother.
Yes.
The reason why you and I get along is because both of us have children in the same grade. Or, y'all, I'm no longer invited to the soccer game. I'm no longer going to the football game because it was our children now. Mine have passed away. Am I still welcome to the football game?
Right.
And if I am, Carol, I'm going to feel a little different.
Most definitely. And that party talked about those gatherings. A lot of friends that you knew, that he knew, she knew, now that they passed away, that's why y'all were friends. Are you going to be able to be invited to the parties? Are you going to be invited to the reunions, the family reunions on his or her side? So these are very, very important secondary losses that we know that a lot of people don't think about.
So I have a loss of feeling safe.
Yes.
And then also you said I have a loss of even just relating with my friends in my
family.
Let's talk about another loss of future. You know, Carolyn, it's interesting that most of the time we make plans with people because we thinking they're going to always be there.
Yes.
We think our children are always going to be there. We think our grandkids are always going to be. We think our spouse is always going to be there. Because you don't think about, I'm going to build a house, add something to it, and Kevin's not going to be there. Yeah. I never think, well, I'm going to do these things and my children are not going to be there. They are my future. And when that primary person passes away, now I got a secondary loss because what I planned for the future is no longer there.
Right. It can't happen. Like you said, you plan for that trip for two. Well, now it's going to be totally different for one. You plan on going to that graduation for that child, attending that wedding. Those things are not going to happen. So that secondary loss is very, very serious point in our
So
lives.
We talked about the loss of friends and relatives. We talked about loss of feeling safe, loss of a future car. We might have to get some help.
Yes, most definitely.
Because we're going through a lot. A lot of times we don't think about that. We just think about 5 stages of grief because of the primary person passing away. But now we're saying there are secondary loss that we're very much aware of. And we want to tell the public about these things because we know they're experiencing it.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes if you don't call it, you don't even know what it is. So also we're going to talk about one more loss, and that's the loss of direction. So we talk about loss of future, but then y'all, loss of direction. Seems like things don't even matter anymore. You ever heard of somebody grieving themselves to death?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I don't really have a reason to live it. I don't really have a purpose for life anymore. The person I shared everything with is
no longer
gone. So I'm just gonna just wait on my turn. And hopefully God will come take me soon enough so I can go back and be with him.
And most definitely. We hear that a lot, especially for couples that have been married a long time. And of course we hear it a lot for parents with the child, no matter what the age of the child. I'm not going to be able to go to the PTA. I can't go to the soccer game. My entire life was built around this child, and now I no longer have a purpose.
And I have nobody to listen to. Nobody listen to me.
Right.
So whatever direction I was going in, I have lost that direction.
Yes, sir.
And what happens when I lose direction, Karen, I lose my health.
Yes.
I mean, I truly believe the reason why Dad had a stroke a year after Mom passed is because he had nobody there to get his medicine.
Right.
I had no one to say eat
Make
right,
sure
no one to walk around the block with.
Exactly.
A lot of times that secondary loss can cause you to lose your health. People say, oh, they grieved to death. Yeah, they may have grieved to death, but also physically they became ill.
Yes, sir.
Because I lose my
direction.
Health. I lose my direction, which will cause me not only to forget to take my pills, Carolyn, but I got this emotional stress of the grief.
Right.
That's very important. And they say that everything changed. So, yeah, I know this has been a great show.
Yes.
What do you think, Carol?
It is. That's
we covered a lot of things.
We covered a lot.
So every Tuesday we're going to be right here from 8:15 to 8:30. Every Thursday we're going to be right here from
8:15.
8:30. And every Saturday morning from 10:15 to 11 o'clock a.m. We're going to bring you 3 things. Who owns Golden Gate Funeral Home?
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk about
the 7 things
that's so important for the physical death, as well as we're going to give you words of comfort.
Yes,
May
sir.
God bless you. May God keep you is our prayer.